Hello, it's RFK Tech here. We are live. I have a special guest, Caleb. He is here with me. We're going to talk about some 5G network kind of stuff. And also, we're going to talk about some other stuff that's come that I've found that's going to make things even better for the rural America. There's a couple new technologies coming out, and I'm going to show you guys. It's going to be really cool here. So, hello, Caleb. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ricky, I'm doing good, man. I love the background.
Oh, you love the background, yeah. Yeah, I apologize too. When I did the intro, the one intro crashed on me. It froze. It's like, what? It's never done that on StreamYard before, but I had to refresh the browser, come back in here. So, yeah, that's the first time that's ever happened, though. But
No
stuff
worries.
happens. But
That's
yeah,
why I'm going to Florida Wednesday, bro. Looking forward to it.
oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Let's see, wait, I got to turn my volume down a little bit. It's a little too loud in my ear here. Okay, because I'm using my Trex Bluetooth headset connected to my laptop. That way, I don't have the big bulky, and I'm using my HD sound in my camera here. So, yep, we're broadcasting in 1080p. Got the new background, the green screen. So yeah, we're moving up in the channel here. So
Nice. I'm getting ready to do audio setup too. I got a mic. I got headphones. So that'll be coming down the pipe.
okay, awesome. All right, let's see who we got in here so far. Yeah, we just left SMT stream. It was awesome, as always. It's really cool to have multiple streams in one night, especially with the SMT Nation. Give everybody like a couple different topics to talk about and everything. I also sent a link to Carlos and Sneed, so if they want to pop in here later too, they can. But let's see here. We got Mike here. Welcome to the show. Subwoofer Boss is here. Skunky's here. Look at that. We got our first skunk ape of the night. Yeah. Ah!
Oh, that's a good one.
Go.
That's a good one.
And then his brother. Ah! Yeah, you can do some really gnarly stuff with string. I can even do the raccoon.
Nice.
Or the skunky. Skunk mobile. So yeah,
it's terrifying.
That's why I love it. This Streamlabs, I got the professional version now, and it's really awesome. The stuff you can do with it is just like really cool. Yep. Let's see. Nintendo 504 is here. Timothy from the Carolinas. All right. And Lord Doritos 1 is here. Looks like we've got 28 in the live here so far. Jared's here. Baby Yoda is here. Mike West. Kimon. Kathy's here. Our newest Dump Skunk Award goes to Kathy. She dumped skunk. The whole family switched to AT&T. She's very happy. She's amazed at the speeds and the signal and everything. She's just blown away, man. Congratulations. Tom's here. What's going on? It's a party. It's the SMT Nation after party on RFK Tech. Gene's here. Let's see what we got here. We got a bunch of symbols here. Bacon and eggs. All right. Bacon and eggs. Let's see here. What we got? Woof. Breakfast time. All right. Joshua's here. MS. It's a herd of mods. Yeah, we got a few mods. We gotta be ready for like some snakes and worms and Popeyes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we gotta be ready. You never know. Somebody's gonna come in here and do some hanky panky. Yeah. The reason I didn't start right away is Sneed just got done with his broadcast. So I typed this in here. Get your restroom break, grab a snack, grab some popcorn. It's intermission time. You know how you go to the movies and it's intermission time there? Or like when you're in the car. Yeah. Remember the drive-in theaters back when you drive your car up to the theater?
Yes.
And they have a double feature. They would be one movie, and then they would do the feature, and everybody would get out of their cars and run up to the snack shack and buy all kinds of stuff, popcorn.
That's the best. I love that.
Oh my god! And then the intermission was over. The movie was starting, and everybody's running back to their cars. Hurry! Because you can't hear what's going on until you get to your speaker that's in your car there. That's up in the window. Remember you grab the little speaker thing, you You put it on your window, and yeah, that was a good old days. Now there's
Yeah.
still some drive-in theaters out. Fort Lauderdale has one that's still operating right now, which is amazing.
Oh, nice, nice.
For an urban area. Now out in the rural areas, like up in Ohio and Kentucky and all them areas, there ain't very many left. They all closed down because everybody was doing inside movie theaters and everything else.
Right.
So yeah, it's just amazing how things shifted. But now with the Dr. Mario is what our code word is for the pandemic, you know. So it's the same. You have to worry about what you're saying on YouTube because you might get, you know, shut down or all that, you know, because I mean, it is what it is. I mean, what's the big deal about saying one word? You know, what's the big deal about it? So, but I don't know. You just got to follow YouTube's rules so you don't get canceled or deleted. Timothy says, "Yeah, 200 on the dash." All right. Yeah, and thank you everybody. I just hit 200 subscribers.
Oh,
So
nice.
my channel is growing steadily. Blue 5G logo is not right. Need to be magenta because I don't know. The first two I don't know what also. All right. What is Gene? A herd? What? Kathy, what? Somebody's autocorrect is changing stuff, it looks like to me. You said yes, it is, Kathy. I was wondering what. Oh, okay. Pasta game. No. There's no raviolis here. No. Tom said this is scary. Uh-oh. Oh, you changed your name. Saw it in a speed test. Okay. All right. Oh, the intro. Yeah, okay. Yeah, too bad it crashed at the end there. It just like locked up and I had to refresh my browser. It was like, holy crap. First time that ever happened. Of course, I was clicking on something else same time as playing, so it was probably my fault. I was trying to adjust my Bluetooth, so it was probably conflicting with the sound. But at least it recovered. It didn't kick me out, lock me out of my own channel, which that's happened before. That was kind of crazy. My antivirus kicked me out of my own StreamYard. Wouldn't let me in. It's like, what? So I had to figure out how to disable the antivirus, and then I got back in. Took control of my channel. Happened to Gigi too on Gigi Gadget Goddess. It happened to her. Her computer crashed, so she had to restart it. So she was like out on the stream for like 30 minutes as she get everything.
Oh no.
Yeah, but she finally come back. We just carried on without her, so it was pretty cool. We kept it a little happy in there. Let's see, Jared. Just trying to make sure I catch everybody. Said hi. Elmer's here. Lord Doritos, yes. Are you jacked up on caffeine, Ricky? No, I'm just happy about my channel, man. I just hit 200 subscribers. I got the new camera. I got the background. And just all the improvements is just making me happy. Yeah, caffeine doesn't do enough for me. So
is it? You said your camera's 1080.
Yeah, this is 1080p, 60 frames per second. So you watch. Remember before it'd be so blurry? It'd be blurry.
Yeah, I do have to pick up a 1080p camera. That's the last thing I have to get. I know Carlos just got a new one, but he doesn't tell me like
He got the same one that I did. Yeah, it's a Nexigo.
Oh, you did? Okay, I was wondering what the brand. It's Nexigo.
Yeah, it's Nexigo, and yeah, I got mine on Amazon. I paid $100 for it, but he paid a little bit cheaper on eBay for his.
Okay, well, thank you for that information. Can you move the camera up and down and left and right and stuff?
Oh yeah, it's sitting up here on my. It clips on the back of your display, and you can turn it left, right, up and down, everything, and it's really awesome.
So you can if I get like a flat screen, I have to it will clip on the flat screen
monitor on the back of it. Yep, absolutely will. Yep.
Good deal. All right. Well, that's
it's good. It's plug and play. You don't have to load no drivers or nothing. You just plug it in and bang, you're in business with Windows 10. Yeah.
Good deal.
I don't know about Mac if it's plug and play, but I'm sure it is. But
yeah, I'll have to find something that's compatible with Unix or something. But yeah, man, rock on. I'll definitely check into that Nexigo, right?
Yeah, Nexigo.
Okay. Yep. All right. Cool.
Yep. And on Twitter, I actually posted a picture of it when it came in. When I took it out of the box, it's in a blue box.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'll check that out. Cool, man.
All right. Let's see. Gregory's here. Yay. Okay. Here we got a big line of words here. What's up, RFK? Yeah, you're right, man. I have Sprint, and too bad Verizon isn't buying our contracts right now. I have a year left, and Sprint had more towers in Nebraska than T-Mobile. That's not surprising. Yeah, there's some places that the regional carrier had more coverage than the actual nationwide carrier. This was Cheese Network. Yep, you're absolutely right. So hopefully you can find some. But right now, in your area, I don't know who's the best out there, but we can take a look here in a little bit, check it out. But I'm sure it's probably Verizon or AT&T's probably got the best coverage and speed in that area. Let's see. We still do that in Maine. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I was trying to find this article that I found this topic on, and I can't find it. For some reason, I accidentally deleted it. I have to, but I copied the slide. I made slides out of it, but I could only find one out of all I made. So I absolutely don't know where it went. So we'll talk about it as best we can here. I got Caleb. Caleb's here. He can help me. He's the engineer specialist here. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you to the Patreon members and the one-time donors. That's what is making improvements happen on my channel. Can you use 4K webcam on a StreamYard? No, you can't. You can only use 1080p right now. So, and you have to have the professional plan. It's $50 a month to do the 1080p.
That's
thanks
good.
Thanks to my donations, I got that. So I have the professional plan now. I can have 10 people here on the live, and I can do multi-stream too and all that. So that's great. Because right now I'm broadcasting to Facebook and Twitch. Thanks there, SMT. Big homie. Jared just rode out. Hurricane Laura in Louisiana. AT&T Verizon have a hard time coming back. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that was a nasty hurricane, man. I was watching Reed Timmer, which is a storm chaser. He chases tornadoes. I actually watched him live on Facebook when he was in the eye wall and when that thing came. And when them 137 mile an hour sustained or gusts come through there, it shredded everything. There was trees blowing by, pieces of metal. It blew out the windows out of a high rise. It blew down the Wendy's sign that was right there. I actually sit there and watched it all on there. And I was actually in there and I was reporting the wind gusts from the weather observation because I had my radar up and all my, I'm a weather geek as well. So I had all my stuff up there and I was actually posting there, letting them know. And every time I saw a tornado in the eye wall coming toward them, I let them know. I say, hey, you got a tornado in the eye wall coming towards you. And so I was giving them updates. It's the GOAT. What's up, SMT?
Hey, man.
How you doing? Great stream, by the way.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. What's up, Caleb?
I haven't even seen a bad stream from anybody. Everybody does good streams. It's just always good.
Yeah, man. Trying to step our game up, man, and offer.
I don't think we've ever had a dud. I don't think we have.
I think if you have fun, bro, you don't have duds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. You're absolutely right. You have fun. You educate some people. You have some good topics. It's all good. Well, Jared, we're glad you're okay over there. Hopefully your house is still okay and standing. I'm sure you're not close to Lake Charles where the center was. So hopefully no trees took you out. So, but we're praying for you and everybody in Louisiana and Texas. They got hurt a little bit too. So we're praying for everybody to have a good, quick rebound.
Yeah.
Keep them likes up. Yeah. We like likes. Yep. Likes help promote the channel. All right. So we're caught up in the chat here. So let's talk about, I know my topic here. I just wish I had the main thing that I was going to talk about here. But for some reason, and I think it was a Qualcomm article too. That's the sad thing. I did searches and searches. I can't find the page again, but I'll have it on the screen here, and let's just talk about it. But basically, so we're going from 4G to 5G. That's what we're going. Here, let me zoom this up a little bit because I know on the phones you guys are probably squinting at the screen saying, I can't see that. And I know this is a little fuzzy too, so I apologize for that too. But basically, these 5 things you see on your screen is mandatory and necessary to have 5G technology software running on it, because there's 2 parts of 5G. There's software and there's hardware. And this goes right into it. So basically, these 5 things. The first one we're going to talk about is scalable OFDM-based air interface. It's scalable OFDM numerology. I think that's what that says. Yeah, numerology. Efficiently address diverse spectrum deployments and services. Here's the thing. Basically, this manages the spectrum, and you have to have a lot of spectrum. You can't launch 5G with 20 megahertz of low band that's not even on massive MIMO antenna, which, as you see on the right here, is one of the other requirements, and then really call it good 5G. It's not even real. It's kind of like it's experimental just to see if it works.
4.5. 4.5.
Yeah. Or, okay, Caleb, explain to everybody exactly what they're meaning about scalable OFDM based air interface. What does that mean hardware wise to 5G? What does that mean for us?
Well, hardware wise, your orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, that's basically, so your phone has to have a certain modulation, right? A certain, what we call like a language that communicates from your phone to the tower. It's like,
Right.
think of it, you can think of it as like signal processing, right? How does your phone communicate and modulate, these signals? When I say modulate, basically with modulation, we do transcodes, encodes, and decodes your 5G
Digital
signal
packets.
from the tower, digital packets from your tower to your phone, right? With 5G though, basically it takes your OFDM and scales it to the next level. Basically, what this does is it allows us different. For example, Sneed actually talked about in his live stream. You can actually use different OFDM signals from, like, for example, like going from an FDD to a TDD or vice versa, or different frequency, RF configurations. For example, if you have different uplink and downlink frequency bandwidths, as well as basically from going from a small cell right to a tower or vice versa. Your phone has to know, am I connected to a macro tower? Am I connected to a small cell? How does the handoffs work between the two, right? So all this has to do, when you're driving down the road with OFDM. It's scalable in the fact to where this is actually going to incorporate DSS. This is going to be big in DSS to where you're going to have different RF configurations, different spectrum configurations to where you'll be going, from town to town, and you're going to have different downlink and uplink, spectrums and different bandwidths and stuff, different RF configurations compared to each tower each tower and each neighbor tower that's also affected. So this will work great with, it works along with neighbor towers. For example, you'll be able to better hit your neighbor towers as well to pick up even like, things such as like carrier aggregation. It picks up voice signaling, stuff like that. So basically, this is going to be really key. This is going to be really, really extremely important for voice over NR. And the reason why I say that is because voice over NR is a 5G based packet protocol technology to where it's going over a 5G NR radio connection, your voice transmission. So if you think about that, you got to think, okay, when I speak into some telephone, when I speak into a cell phone, you don't want things happening to your voice. For example, like one-way audio, you don't want voice muting. All that's bad stuff, right? So what this does is actually helps deliver more clear, more concise voice path, especially when using voice over NR over cell sites. So it's very scalable and it's very manageable. Along with this, you can actually also dedicate more, more processing, more bandwidth, specifically for congested areas. It's able to take use to say, this tower is congested with a bunch of, UEs, a bunch of users, let's increase the modulation, on this site. So it's very scalable. Mm-hmm.
So what is the difference between this 5G hardware versus the 4G hardware? What is the main improvements that it addresses with this hardware technology?
It's just more it's just more efficient. It just does the job better. It's more. It's like it's pretty
So it's more
self-explanatory. It's more
efficient. What does
scalable.
that mean to the customer?
Basically, with the customer, what this allows to do is it allows for more connections, like more. Think of this. Think about
I think
hospitals.
T-Mobile can use that, right?
Yeah, think of like a hospital, right? Think about how much data
All
connections, and think about how much medical devices, like we see like remote surgeries that will come into play, right?
Right.
Video systems, that's a huge part of it. So when you work with high bandwidth applications, signaling going
Yep,
to
yep.
that has to be perfect, and this is a lot more than voice, right? Your video signaling, especially going over a 5G connection, going from tower to tower, if you're remote, or if you're
Right.
fixed, if you're working with a set of a primary tower versus a couple of neighbor towers around your area,
Okay.
your signaling has to be pretty spot on. So
Could I chime in on this efficiency piece?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what Caleb's talking about are operations, like when it comes to the actual like transmission of
right.
like signal and connection and stuff. But the efficiency also literally goes to energy efficiency, like carbon emissions. They're going to decrease with 5G. So new NR hardware is going to be more energy efficient. So it's going to take less energy to do the same thing that LTE was
Right.
doing. Or
Yep.
we could look at it as if the amount of energy that LTE puts in, you put that same amount of energy into 5G NR and you get more. So what I'm going to say is if 4G LTE was to continue to be our only technology, we would require more energy to meet the demands that we would require. Therefore, by improving and advancing to 5G, we get more energy efficient and our ceiling increases in terms of what we can achieve.
Right.
Yeah, let me say one more thing regarding that. The cost per megabyte, versus
Goes
4G
down.
versus 5G, it goes down tremendously.
Yeah.
That's a huge benefit. This means more data connections, more available bandwidth,
Yeah.
and more use.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just I call it the bang for your buck.
Yeah.
For
Exactly.
broadband.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, what it also does is quality of service too. So
Yes,
the thing is with the digital, because what this OFDM is basically, it's a digital compression algorithm, is what it is. It compresses the data into tiny little pieces, so that you can shoot more signal out. And then when it gets on the other side, it uncompresses it out, and then that's what comes out across your phone and all that. So it's from modem to modem, transmits and sends, and that's what it is. So when you go from 4G to 5G, it's adding capacity, efficiency, and also quality of service. Because the thing with data service is this: if the signal gets interrupted for just a second, then you got a data interruption. And what does that do? It slows your signal or speed down. It increases your jitter, which jitter means stop and go traffic. It's like when you're in a traffic jam on the interstate. You're on a traffic jam, you stop and go traffic. And that's what jitter is. Packet loss means it never gets there. That means it sends the packet, it never gets it. So it has to keep retrying it over and over again till it finally says, yeah, I heard it. The way this data works is the tower sends a packet data to the phone. The phone says, okay, this is what I heard you send. The phone sends it back to the tower and said, okay, is this what you send? This is what I heard. The tower says, yeah, 100%. If there's a piece that's missing, the tower will send it back. Oh, you missed a piece. And it'll send it back, and then it'll have it. And this does it in a blitz second. I mean, Caleb could probably even tell you what the exact time frame, but I mean, it's less than a blink of eye. I mean, this is like milliseconds, right, Caleb?
So on average we set it for about 128 milliseconds.
So it does all this stuff like blazing fast. So the more efficient the data stream is back and forth, the less data packet losses, the less jitter, and the faster the speed is, the lower the latency is. And that is the key to 5G. That's the key. That's the whole reason why they're doing the software upgrades, the hardware upgrades. Now you can't just upgrade the software and not upgrade the hardware, because then you're screwed, because then you're not going to have a good quality service and everything. So let's go to the next one here. This one's called flexible slot-based framework. Self-contained slot structure, key enabler to low latency URLLC and forward compatibility, which I forget what URLLC is. I can't remember because that was in the article. That was what I was going to pull up on the screen that I couldn't find. So I know that's got something to do with the digital mode there. So what about this here, Caleb? The flexible slot.
I had to take a training in that part.
I put you on the spot, buddy.
I didn't remember the training that much, but because I know there's certain the slots basically that basically how it handles each connection. But with 5G, you can do multiple slots.
Exactly, that's the key.
It's not just one slot. You can do actually multiple slots. I don't remember the exact number. I think it was 4
simultaneous slots. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And when the data is compressed, when you compress the data, let's say like over this certain bandwidth, you can have 100 slots on this spat. But when you go from 4G to 5G, you're actually quadrupling the slots because it compresses each slot smaller, and you still maintain the same efficiency. So that's how you can do more traffic at the same time. Right,
and that allows for greater capacity, right? So each slot's going to have greater capacity. Man, yeah, I took this. I had to take this training, and it's the training that they put us through. The radio does this automatically, so I don't even know why. Like it's automatic. Half the crap that is talked about here. So,
but the whole reason and purpose I'm doing this on my live stream because these things are important for 5G. There are some companies out there that's not doing these things, and therefore, they're labeling it 5G, and it's not 5G. It's like saying you got a pickup truck out there, and you're saying it's a pickup truck, but when you look at it, it's a Chevy Cruze. Oh no, that's a pickup truck. Okay, well, where am I going to haul my shit in? How am I going to haul my shit in it? Oh, just put it in the back seat. No,
dude, they made me like
designed to do that. I need a pickup truck. I want to haul gravel.
Yeah.
You put gravel in the back of a Chevy Cruze? You can. Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. You can put gravel in there, but how easy is it to get it in and then get it out when you get there? It's very difficult, and it's not going to be very efficient. It's going to take a lot more manpower, and plus, you might break an axle on that Chevy Cruze with the weight you got on there.
Yeah, dude, they were making me like they were making me calculate like the RF math based off of OFTDM signal on those stupid time slots, bro.
Oh,
I'm like,
oh my god, that's fun.
It was horrible. No, it was not fun. It was horrible. I'm like, why do I have to do this or learn this or even attempt this when the radio is going to do it and the DU is going to do it automatically?
I got you.
All right, so painful.
So the next, well, do you have any comments on this SMT or Carlos on the slot base? I know you guys are not as tech savvy as me and Caleb there, but is there anything you got a question about or anybody in the chat?
So that's a lot of that's going to be kind of taken care of with Open RAN.
Right.
A lot of that coding, modulation, and framing and stuff like that's all going to be taken care of there.
That's the 5G hardware. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's completely automated and it's gonna be there. So,
but here's the thing: if you have 4G equipment in there, and you try to do this stuff,
it ain't happening, Chief.
You can call it 5G.
No, you can't.
It's not going to act like 5G. That's what I'm trying to get to here.
How's it going to be 5G if it doesn't even have the equipment?
Right, gotta have the equipment. Yep, gotta have the
old shit out, let the new shit in before you can start calling it 5G.
Yep, ain't gonna work.
Out with the old and in with the new.
Well,
exactly. All right, so this next part here, advanced channel coding. Here we go. MELDPC and CA Polar. I know CA is the carrier aggregation part, but I completely forgot what the LDPC is.
Man, I had the stupid
I apologize on that. But basically, this is just routing. This is channel. This is identifying what data and where it needs to go to and from. Because I'm just remembering this from the article I read. I memorized it halfway. I didn't really remember because I thought I was going to have it here to look at and remind me on the way. So I apologize, you guys. For that.
That's a lot of the core stuff.
Large data blocks and reliable control channel. So there you go. That's the key to this part of the hardware.
Yeah, I will say that the training that I had that basically we're gonna have larger control channels and better ones actually with the 5G. Yep. That's actually a lot of the stuff, the control channels, that's based off the digital unit, which is, your baseband unit. And then also that actually gets routed to the core. So that's how that's handled. But the good thing about it is, see, with 5G, the main driver of what we're talking about is, it's like, layman's terms, bigger, better,
Yep.
faster data.
There you
right?
go.
So
That sounds good to me.
think of it like that. It's like a you have one pizza that's okay, and then you have another, and then you have some other pizza that some dude made that knew what he was doing. It tastes a lot
Yeah,
better.
it's like this. You have a personal pan pizza and you're trying to feed a family with it. You
Mhm.
can't feed
Yep,
a family
exactly.
with a personal pan pizza. You have to get that big New York style. The New York style, the big 16-inch pie, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
think Big Lou's in here. He can tell us about the New York style pizza
Hell yeah.
for sure. All right, what you think, Carlos?
Bro, what are you guys talking about? 16-inch pizza? Y'all don't know about
See,
that Brooklyn
I was
style.
afraid we was going to go over some people's heads and stuff, but I'm trying to explain it good enough and everything. But anyways, it is kind of a little bit difficult to do this. The $6 million man of data.
Bro,
Yeah.
are you using a headset right now, dude?
Oh,
Me?
also, I want to make one more point about the channel coding. That's going to be
Okay.
used a lot in network slicing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Network slicing.
Yeah. So that's going to be a
routing
big,
data. Yep.
big component of that. So it's going to be amazing in the near future here for 5G.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to go on to the fourth thing. Now these last two things, the fourth and fifth thing, is the most important part, of course, of the 5G architecture hardware. Look at this massive MIMO. I know I've been preaching this. I know SMT's been preaching it. All of us have been preaching it. Massive MIMO, which means multiple in, multiple out. So you got multiple signals into the antenna, multiple signals out of the antenna to the phone. And the same way with the phone. So you have multiple data streams, and this makes the better quality for that. And the MU part stands for multiple user massive. So this is when this isn't just one phone with multiple data streams. This is multiple phones with multiple data streams, which is a lot more efficient. Efficiency utilizes a large number of antennas to increase coverage and capacity. And that is the key, especially when you start going to millimeter wave. Because when you go millimeter wave, you're higher in frequency, the range is less, it bounces off everything. And if you guys missed my live stream where I was talking about beamforming, you got to check it out because I really went in depth on that one there and showed you how beamforming is so important, especially for millimeter wave. And massive MIMO is part of that equation as well.
Hashtag
Go ahead.
game, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, Caleb. Tell us about massive MIMO.
Well, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. It's, there's multiple data streams in and out. So with the antennas, you're using, multiple antenna elements, right? You have ones that are 64 by 64. So you have 64 transmit, 64 receive. You'll see, you'll probably see, if you see tower crews upgrading sites, sometimes you'll see them put a massive MIMO antenna on it, which is a bigger antenna. Okay.
Right.
So keep an eye out for that. It doesn't hurt to ask a tower crew to say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Hey, exactly.
I'm installing a massive MIMO antenna. Right. Yeah.
I did that when I was down in Alamorado when I saw them upgrade that T-Mobile tower that day when they was putting the N71 up on that day.
Yeah.
I went up to ask them. Well, actually, I went up there and I told the crane operator, I said, "Hey, is this a T-Mobile work crew? Are they putting up the new band 71 for low band and all that, getting it ready for pre-ready for 5G and all that kind of stuff like that?" And the guy says, "Yeah, how did you know all that?" Well, I'm a tech channel nerd, so I'm just into all this wireless stuff. And that's what he told me. He said, "Yeah, this is definitely a T-Mobile upgrade and all that kind of stuff." So
the massive MIMO is the key indicator, for greater capacity. Your latency will improve tremendously a lot, a lot less, with massive MIMO, there's a lot less loss on like connection failure rates, data failure rates, stuff like that. Because you have actually another stream to pick it up. You have extremes amount of speed increase on your downlink and your uplink.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have the good thing about massive MIMO is that massive MIMO is good for multiple connections, meaning your phone, your tablet, your car, whatever it may be.
Oh yeah, yeah. your dog, everything.
So it's a great technology, and we're getting ready to. I think Ericsson is. I think Ericsson is.
See what Brian says. He says, so is T-Mobile going to use like 2 or 3 out of the 5?
Well, the thing is, it's actually going to be 5 out of 5 eventually. You see what I'm saying? That's what 5G brings.
Even though they claim on their commercials that they're first.
And it goes back to the hardware that's needed. You have to have the proper amount of hardware to make all those great things that software does to put to use.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here's another thing about massive MIMO also. Basically, when you're on your phone and you're out in a building somewhere, okay, if you have just one data stream, this is what happens, okay? Just one data stream from the antenna to your phone. Basically, you could be standing in a certain spot in the building, okay, and you have signal. The tower hears you, and the phone hears the tower. So it's a duplex thing. It's going back and forth doing the data thing, okay? Now, let's say you move to the right just about a foot. You move to a foot. Now, there's an object somehow between you and the tower that's making the signal go down that now the tower can't hear you. The tower cannot hear the phone no longer because what's going to happen? You're going to get a drop call. If you're on a phone call, it's a drop call. Clear and simple. That's what happened to Sprint a lot because they didn't have all this good technology when they first launched the microwave type frequencies like PCS, which is 1.9 gigahertz, band 2, band 25 is what they had. So basically, if you don't have multiple data streams, multiple massive antennas with multiple antennas on it, it's going to lose you. Where massive MIMO comes in is if I move to the right a foot, guess what? One of the other antennas on the panel can hear you. So the whole goal about massive MIMO, no matter where you move at inside a building, there's always going to be one of them little antennas out of 64 that's going to copy you and have a data stream. And it constantly moves. So if you move to the left, you switch to another antenna that's in the antenna. So that's what it is. It gets you a more constant data stream, consistent. And when that happens, you get more data speed, you get better signal, and faster speeds and lower pings. And that's the key to the massive MIMO. Go ahead there, SMT. What do you think? What do you think about massive MIMO?
So it's kind of the evolution of, I don't know, man. I'd say probably like 2 or 3 generations of antenna technology.
Yeah.
So it kind of started with like with use cases of smartphones, 2x2, 4x4, and then we started getting 64 by 64 and 128. So when they talk about massive and like multiple user MIMOs, everything has been designed to increase capacity, right? So essentially,
that's correct.
You're trying to get more bandwidth availability for your consumers, because if we were stuck with the old tech, then we weren't able to get 2,000-3,000 people connected on the same tower site. You could never do it.
Absolutely.
But now that potential is there. And, so if you have wide channels with lots of spectrum and you have these types of antenna arrays that are, on the antenna panels and stuff like that, then you can support multiple gigs of speed through multiple channels, and you could support thousands of people on any given tower site.
Absolutely. What do you think, Carlos? What do you think about massive MIMO?
Well, what do you think I think of it, bro? It's good.
That's good.
Exactly, it's good, and it'll
Why do you
work.
Okay, here's a question. Why do you think the skunk apes are eating these band 71 towers off?
Because they're only 4x4. They don't
Because
like
they're not
4x4.
massive MIMO. So it's eating them because they're easy to eat and digest. Right?
Yeah, it hurts their stomach when it's massive MIMO.
So
it gives them unbearable bowel syndrome.
Oh, irritable.
Yeah.
Oh, irritable doesn't sound like it's too good.
Unbearable. That's what he said.
That's just crazy. All right.
Where does Sneed go?
Oh, he's still here, I think. Or did he drop out? Oh no, he dropped out, came back in. I didn't click him in. Oh, whoops.
We back.
I didn't see that you fell out there. Okay. Uh-oh. Skunk Ape says, makes me have digestion issues. Okay. Hello there, D-Gaff. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Okay, so that's massive MMO. So what we're talking about here is hardware things that are required for true real 5G. And of course, we know some carriers are skipping this out. I mean, N41 we know has massive MNO, but we know band 71 don't. But you know, the band 71 is not possible because low band requires a humongous antenna. The wind load would be too much, so it wouldn't get approved. And plus the cost, the bigger the antenna up there, the more cost it's going to be. That's why mid-band and millimeter wave is the two bands that are the best to use for a massive MIMO because it keeps the antenna size down. But of course, if it's not possible to have massive MIMO antennas, then why would you do a nationwide network? Well, so-called nationwide network. It's only 30% of the towers have band 71. You do it and you launch this nationwide 5G, and it's not really 5G. It's only 5% of the spectrum, and it's not even massive MIMO. And some of these other things here that we're just talking about is not even in there. I mean, the basic part of NR, new radio, is some of these things. But the missing part is the antenna structure and the last parts of the hardware of the tower. That's the part that's missing.
I personally think that, since even though we can't do massive MIMO on low band, I think there's going to be some new technology out to make use better capacity with these low band frequencies. I'm doing trials on it right now, actually, in like China.
Hey, Caleb, but aren't they doing 8x8 MIMO on low band though?
That's coming. I know Ericsson's doing that, or trying to do that, I should say.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. But even better than 8x8. With 8x8, you can pull, I think it was 300 megabytes on low band. So that's great. That's good. That'll happen.
Here's the one thing that T-Mobile needs to change. Right now, they're using the band 71 panels. It's a dual band panel, so you can run the whole panel. You can run band 71, or you can split it. You can do 71 on half and band 12 on the other half, and that's what T-Mobile's doing.
Right.
What they really need to do is have the whole complete panel as band 71. But guess what? They don't have the bandwidth. They don't have enough bandwidth to use the whole antenna, so they're just throwing band 12 on the other half.
I don't know. I think it's. I think we're going to see a seismic shift for low band, even past the 8x8 MIMO that's coming out. I think there's going to be something new that's going to play along nice with the massive MIMO. I can feel it, man. Because here's the thing: because the low band frequencies, they're going to be there and they're not going away, right? So what we talked about earlier is how can we boost capacity? How can we milk ants, right, out of low band, right? So
whose term is that?
So I think that
Caleb, once you did it, bro. Damn.
Well, once we get the 8x8 rolled on the massive MIMO, I don't think I'm not sure about how 1606 will work, but once we get the 8x8 rolled out on low band, I think there's going to be some seismic shift happening with low band frequency that's really going to take the RF telecommunication by storm.
Yep, for sure. All right, so let's talk about the last part, the last key to hardware for new radio 5G, which would be mobile millimeter wave beamforming and beam tracking. Enables wide millimeter wave bandwidths for extreme capacity and throughput. What do you think, Caleb?
So that's also great technology. And I just want to make a couple of points on that. One thing is, for actually the beam tracking, the beamforming, you have to have wide channels, wide spectrum, in order for this to work effectively. You can't just expect to, have this beamforming work up a 10 or 20 megahertz signal. That's not going to work.
You can't be like T-Mobile and throw 100 megahertz on millimeter wave and expect it to work well. Did I say that? I'm sorry.
You need at least 100 megahertz minimum, at the minimum, to have this even work correctly. Okay. And the reason you need, because what you're doing is you're creating RF spatial technology. It's like RF spray, basically versus before beamforming.
Hold on, Caleb. Hold on. Can we can't do this anymore. These skinny, anorexic, slim fast, counting calories channels. This stuff has to stop. All right. We
I
cannot
agree.
celebrate 20 megahertz channels anymore.
You can't. No, absolutely.
No more. These diets, this NutraSweet, this Splenda BS, it's got to stop right now.
Yep.
Right now.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
I mean, if you can imagine if these carriers, had a brain, and we're like, even on, if we can get 100 megahertz. Okay, imagine this, guys. Imagine this. I want to paint a picture in your guys' head. Imagine the frequency bands that you like, even low band. Imagine 100 megahertz on low band, mid band, 100 megahertz minimum on your millimeter wave. Can you imagine how cool that would be?
Wow.
So,
now you're talking. Bruh.
I would love to have that.
Three course meal, spaghetti, fettuccine, and veal, bro.
And scallops, yes.
Scallops.
Holy cow.
Filet. Yeah.
And I think with this, 5G and maybe we'll see this in 6G, guys. I'm not, I want to say that, once 6G happens, maybe the FCC will we need to have 100 megahertz channels, right?
Carrier announcement that they got
standard.
First 6G in the
Yeah.
States.
100 megahertz channels as a standard. Wouldn't that be nice?
I think by then the
10 megahertz
FCC
of
will be
millimeter wave.
changing. They'll be changing a lot of the low band configuration. Go ahead, Carlos.
I hope so. I hope the FCC changes a lot about this labeling of 5G and 6G, whatever's coming up next. This is a complete nightmare mess what we got right now.
All I'm saying is 10 megahertz of millimeter wave. That's it.
Bruh.
Get out of here.
Oh my goodness, bro. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't know you could do that, bro.
Yeah.
And it's documented.
Oh.
Yeah, you could do it. It's not a smart thing to do, but
bro, even in my opinion,
you could do it.
A 50 megahertz channel of millimeter wave is pointless.
It is.
Let alone a 10. What? 10 megahertz? Bruh.
I'm about to do 5 on that ad.
Get out of here.
We're about to do 5 on it.
It's so good.
Oh, God, bro, it's so bad, bro. Like,
yep.
They're auctioning them in 100 megahertz licenses.
Blocks.
Why don't
Yeah,
you
exactly.
them?
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
We need it, and I hope the FCC will make that a reality.
Yeah, man.
Sure hope so too. Yes, hit the likes, folks. Yes. Everybody's saying hi in here. Let's see if we got
What's happening, Chief?
another question. So beamforming won't work on 5 megahertz of millimeter wave. No. Nope. Not at all.
Millimeter
But
wave.
but
5
hey,
megahertz,
we
man.
get our face mask Tuesday. Mary. Yeah. Carlos, we really need to retest T-Mobile millimeter wave in Vegas. See what has changed, if anything.
I'm good.
Hey, it's Chase. Everybody, subscribe to Chase's Clearwater Fishing. If you're a fishing and outdoors person, he's starting up his own channel.
Nice.
So, he says he's going to do his first live stream. Okay, we'll see how that happens. He's going to try to do it at 10:25. I don't know if we got here in time enough.
He said TK at the live stream at 10:25.
Oh, TK, I thought he was doing it. Oh yeah. TK is doing a celebration for 25,000 subscribers tonight.
Damn, good for him.
Oh, nice. Rock on.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So there you go. Unbox Warehouse. Yo, what's up in here? Oh yeah, we having a party up in here. All right. So basically, another thing I want to say about the millimeter wave too is the beamforming and beam tracking is very, very important. That is why Verizon has went to the second phase. I haven't did a live stream on this holographic beamforming, which is a new version that's being used on the millimeter wave. So I got to do some research on that. I'll bring you that next. And that's also partly what they're using the Pivot 5G and the Echo 5G. I did a live stream on that already. You can watch that live stream and you can learn more about how Verizon is using Pivot 5G and Echo 5G to make the millimeter wave propagate more. They're putting millimeter wave on the macro sites.
Yeah.
They're beaming it to those little extenders or repeaters, whatever you want to call them. Basically, it grabs a signal like IAB, the integrated access backhaul. It grabs that millimeter, and then it rebounces around so that it gets inside the buildings, and so like if a bus jumps up in front of you, blocks your signal out, the way it's beaming around, it'll actually correct it and still send it to your phone. So it kind of uses the same kind of almost technology as massive MIMO.
Yeah, the RF parabolic waves would be freaking awesome on that. I cannot wait to see those.
Yeah, it's like playing pool. When you're trying to get the ball in the pocket, you bounce it off the rails. Sometimes you'll bounce it 3 or 4 times before it hits the ball and knocks it in the pocket. That's exactly what this new holographic beamforming is doing on millimeter wave that Verizon's launching right now. So when Verizon gets done with this and they launch this nationwide in all their urban areas, you're going to have a very saturated, very fast indoor and outdoor millimeter wave experience. So ultra wideband 2.0, if that's what you want to call it. Absolutely. Now we got another slide here. Now here's the big thing right here. This is, went too far. There we go. All right, check this out. All right, 5G new NR, which means new radio, massive MIMO increases coverage and capacity. Now this is how much. This is from Qualcomm. This is what their engineers come up with. Now look on the left here. You got 4x4 MIMO. You're getting 52 megabits per second. Okay. Now, when you introduce 5G NR, massive MIMO, you get 3.8 times the capacity of the speeds. So you go all the way up to 195. So just switching the antenna from 4x4 to massive MIMO, like 64x64, that you're going to get 3.8 times more speed. And that is what's getting you a better NR 5G experience. Now on the right, you got 4x4 MIMO. Now this is on the edge of the cell. On the left was, the medium user perceived throughput, wherever you're roaming around the tower. But when you're on the edge of the signal, we're talking 1 or 2 bars. How many of you has 1 bar on your phone and you're trying to do something and you just can't do it because it says error, no connection, and you got 1 bar? Well, look what happens when you're on the cell edge. 4x4, you got 27 megabits per second. Now, when you go to 5G NR massive MIMO, look, 79 megabits per second. Now, how many in here would rather have 79 megabits per second on your phone with 1 bar versus 27 megabits per second?
Yeah, I was just about to make a point. But I was just about to make a point on the massive MIMO on 5G. Basically, at the edge, when you're at the cell edge, it's so important. We were actually last year we were doing some RF configurations related to beam edge. So beam edge is basically when your phone is going from edge cell site to edge cell site to your neighbor site, right?
Right.
And the MIMO technology is so important because with 5G, you're going to be getting not just the capacity, but actually true handoffs, coverage wise from MIMO site to MIMO site. So basically, you're no longer going to have to see like a complete blip of signal. You're going to have one continuous signal going from neighbor site to neighbor site, from site to site, with high capacity. With massive MIMO as well. So that's really cool. That's something that we didn't have in 4G. We didn't have what called beam edge, and this just makes it so much better because the handoffs are going to be so much better. You won't have call drops. You won't have data failure drop offs or anything like that.
You know what else is going to happen here with this is we're only talking about the immediate 5G effect, like how it's going to be right off the rip. But in its maturity, 5G capacity is going to be 20 to 30 times that of LTE. Yeah. So when Ricky's talking about like edge site having 79 megabits per second, in 5 years, that's probably going to multiply by 10. Yeah. Because by then we're going to have multiple spectrum auctions. There'll be wider channels, and the technology will continue to improve.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, this thing we're seeing on the screen here, this is only the antenna level. This is just going from the two types of antennas. Now, we're not talking about adding bandwidth in here. Now, what happens if we add a whole bunch of bandwidth, which
Sure.
this test,
Yeah.
I forget, I can't read the bottom there what the exact how much bandwidth they did for this test, but it wasn't very much. It was like only 60 or 80, 40 or 60 megahertz. That's it. But now, can you imagine throwing 200 megahertz in here and using massive MIMO? Can you just imagine? It's going to be pretty amazing.
And this is great for sites that aren't close together, mind you. You know.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, Unbox Warehouse says my phone showed 5G today. Did a quick speed test and was only 20 megabits per second. The reason it was only that slow is because you're probably on T-Mobile or you're on AT&T that doesn't have the real 5G. You're only doing like 5% of 5G. So we don't have no real 5G out there yet. We got people that's putting icons on their phones, and it's not real 100% 5G. So that's why you're not seeing the fast speeds today. So just because your phone says 5G on it doesn't mean you're doing all of it completely. AT&T and Verizon next year, they're going to have standalone 5G, which is going to be on all frequency bands. All frequency bands are going to be carrier aggregated together, low band, mid band, mixed together, and it's going to be 100% standalone, and you're going to get real 5G experiences. Right now, you got 95% LTE and 5% with, I was going to say whiskey. I'm thinking about my whiskey analogy there. 5% of new radio 5G. So it's all about the percentages. So you can't take 95% LTE, mix it with 5% new radio 5G, and call it 5G. It's not real. It's actually fake. It's in beta testing, or you want to call it hybrid. And T-Mobile is the worst one that's doing it right now because they only have 30% of their tower sites upgraded to band 71. So there's holes everywhere. There's no overlap at all. I mean, you can go between two 5G towers and have absolutely no signal, and then it falls back to being 100% LTE and zero new radio 5G, even though the icon says 5G on it. Because Carlos has actually did this test before, and he went out there and he actually looked at the bands because there's a service mode in there. He went in and looked. It had 5G on the signal on the icon, and then when you look down through there, it was 100% LTE. So basically, your 20 megabits per second you're experiencing is 95% LTE and 5% of actual real 5G. If that helps you out there. And let's see. Yeah, and to clarify, the 25,000 is TK's Garage. TK's Garage, that's another friend of our all of our channels. He's got a car channel, and he's the one that's doing the 25,000 subscribers right now. Chase is just starting his channel up. He's only got 15 subscribers right now. So if you're into fishing and outdoors, subscribe to his channel. He's going to be doing some videos. He's going to try to do a live tomorrow. He's in a tough situation. He is in an area that he has no internet. There's no home internet. There's no cable. There's no DSL. There's no fiber. There's nothing. He's in the boonies. There's nothing out there. The only thing they have is HughesNet. And HughesNet is a ancient 4G. It's not, I wouldn't really call it 4G, but it's satellite internet, which the ping is high. It's horrible. They only give you 30 gigabits a month. And then after that, they slow you down to dinosaur speed. And that's what they do. So he is looking forward to Starlink when it comes out. So it's going to be kind of hard for him to do it live. He's got to do it over his phone with Sprint because that's what he has. And he hasn't dumped them yet, but he's getting ready to go to AT&T and get FirstNet. That's what he's going to do. So pretty soon he's going to be coming to AT&T customer as well. So yeah, if you like it outdoors and fishing, make sure you check out his channel. All right, let me catch up here in the chat. T may be like, hello there. Glad to see you. Which carrier is going to make rural great again? AT&T is definitely going to be really good because with the FirstNet contract, they have to put towers everywhere. Everywhere there's a population, they have to put service out there. And that's the FCC and the government that's telling them they have to do that. So AT&T is going to do a really good rural thing. And Verizon is actually going to do it too. They're spending a lot of money on the system. Verizon AT&T making 5G great again. That's exactly right. My phone says 5G now, but like you say, it's not. Yep, exactly. And even with AT&T, they're just using low band, band 5 right now. So it's non-standalone. And before they go to standalone, it's going to be non-standalone. It's basically just testing. It's just a small sliver of 5G until they roll everything out. And then once they're able to flip the switch, then it'll be 100% 5G. Although if you ask T-Mobile right now, they say they got 100% 5G now.
It's pretty bad that AT&T's band 14 with less capacity and spectrum is faster than T-Mobile's band 71.
Yeah,
markets.
Exactly. That's amazing. Yeah, so when your symbol says 5G on AT&T and it's faster than AT&T, the reason is it's faster is not because of 5G. It's because of the LTE is better. Paul Boyd says, when 5G is complete, is hologram technology possible? Well, the holographic beamforming is already starting to be launched now for the millimeter wave for Verizon. They're already updating everything in the cities. Now, that kind of beamforming may come out later on with mid-band, possibly, but that technology is mainly geared towards millimeter wave because it's a more bouncy. Because the higher you go in frequency, the more bouncy it is. So the holographic is mainly designed and engineered for the bouncy signal, where the signal's bouncing everywhere.
Yeah, faster oscillations.
Yes, exactly. Now, mid-band 5G, just massive MIMO with beamforming is all you need, and you're good. You're golden, and it's going to perform really good. And that's what we're actually seeing get launched out there. So hopefully that helps you guys out there. So what do you think, is SMT still here? Oh, it's just Carlos and you, Caleb. Okay, yeah. He bounced out, I guess. Okay. All right, so Carlos, what do you think about this hardware things that makes 5G real?
Well, like I said, there's no core, there's no 5G.
Mm-hmm.
No core, no 5G. So no one has core, no one has 5G.
Yeah, speaking of core, let's talk about this, sir, Caleb.
No, why?
Caleb says,
bro.
no.
Bro, these are all the classes that Caleb made me take.
Caleb he did?
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
made you take
I actually paid for them. Yeah, he made me take these classes.
Okay. So you're the expert. So you want to teach us about this?
Nah, bro, I'm good. This shit was
You're
this shit gave me a headache, bro.
Now you know.
I passed it with a C minus. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, this is complicated crap, ain't it, dude?
Yeah. Make sure some of the classes make your head hurt.
Bro,
Some of them made my head hurt.
It does, bro.
Exactly.
Especially with the cloud-based 5G, bro. Like it's retarded to do it all cloud-based, bro. Nothing is better than hardware.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a 5G hardware port. We just talked about it. That 5G goes hand in hand with the cloud and the network layer, the software layer.
I would rather see the cloud software based with small cells versus macro sites.
Internet,
right?
The hell?
Yep.
Is my internet connection freezing, or is that yours?
Here, on a network layer software, this is what we see: the visibility, function 1, function 2, function 3, function N, all that. And then what we will see later on with all this, when we transition to standalone, is the infrastructure layer hardware. You merge them together. You do the software layer, the hardware layer, and 5G. You put both of them together. Then you're going to have real standalone 5G, not the fake stuff. You can't do the green side and not do the blue side here. If you skip the blue side and you just do the green side, it's not standalone. Right, Caleb?
Right. One thing I do want to say here is, it took, about 10-year transition to go from 4G to 5G, right?
Yep.
Right. So with this investments and 5G technology, the transition period going from 5G to 6G is going to be a lot less. Less. We may say 6G, IEEE standards.
Different from what we have now. It's just going to be tweaking what you already got.
Yeah, it's going to be like a lot better. Probably about 5 years' time.
Yep.
Maybe.
Absolutely. So, yeah, technology is exploding. It's just amazing what it's doing right now. So.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what we got in the chat here real quick. Okay, Maverick says, need to have the hardware first before claiming 5G. Yep.
And
True.
you need to
And
switch
the
to
bandwidth.
you need to switch to Verizon or AT&T before talking about 5G.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, GG. There are no free phones with T-Mobile for existing customers. We have 24 months credit. You pay full price up front for the phone. Okay. Just want to know how T-Mobile US hasn't established much in the Omaha metro market. Omaha, damn near 490,000 people, and metro of almost 1 million. Yeah, that's true. Well, it takes money and time. That's what is hurting T-Mobile the most is money and time. If they had all the money in the world and they had enough time to do everything with the money, then yeah, it could happen a lot faster. But that's what's hurting them right now. That's why AT&T and Verizon's passed them up because they've took the time and they're using the money and they're making it great. They're slamming it in the park. They're doing home ones, and basically T-Mobile is doing foul balls right now. If that's in a baseball analogy, foul ball.
More like strikes, bro.
Right. Oh man. Okay, that's brutal. So is Dish's cloud-based 5G core not going to be as efficient as a standalone hardware core? Well, you got to understand those are the same things. You're talking about two separate things. There's a software part of it and there's a hardware part. They both work in harmony together to make standalone core. Right, Carlos? Caleb?
Yes, sir. You need both hardware and software, but keep in mind, with the cloud, base. I do want to say this: with 5G and 6G, it's going to require a lot less hardware than in the past. It's just going to be, instead of like maybe 3 things having to do the work, it's going to maybe be down to 1 thing, and having the software take care of the rest. It's going to involve less hardware going forward in the future.
So we got TomTom trying to get free phones, huh?
Oh,
yeah.
What, he's trying to get the skunk phones for free, huh?
Yeah, what did you guys hear about this story too today? What do you think about this? You hear about
Hey, I know who drew that map. I got it for you right here.
Uh-oh. Look out.
There you go, bro. That's who drew the map.
All right. Oh, Timmy drew the map. All right.
That's funny. I like that.
Little 4-year-old drew the map.
Yeah, the 4-year-old asking, well, how much of the 5G should I draw? I'll draw a whole bunch.
Well, at least he covered California.
But you don't have that much. I should have only calling it 30%. That's right. All right. Awesome. So basically, T-Mobile can keep telling customers that their 5G service is faster than 4G and offers more coverage than rival 5G, but the National Advertising Division, NAD, of the Better Business Bureau National Program recommends that it stop claims that the 5G network is more reliable than its competitors, 4G or 5G. It's talking about both of them.
I think this is good in the reliability aspect because you're not gearing. They're right on this. T-Mobile is not gearing a true 5G signal and experience with the customer. It's all about customer experience and customer perception. If you have just a signal icon on your phone and you're not, getting what your Verizon buddies get, your AT&T buddies, that's not cool. And I think it's good for the NAD to step in and tell T-Mobile to cut it out with the 5G reliability.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the chat here. Let's see all these. It says GG TT. What is all this? I don't know what's going on in here. But anyways. But yeah, the recommendation comes after Verizon challenged claims that T-Mobile has been making in TV and online advertisements. NAD is an investigative unit that reviews national ads across media for truthfulness and accuracy. Woo! They're hot on them like flies on poo-poo. T-Mobile started calling its rivals, AT&T and Verizon, dumb and dumber, even though they have a better network. but they're calling them Dumb and Dumber. Okay, years ago, under the former CEO John Ledger, calling its rivals AT&T and Verizon Dumb and Dumber years ago under the former CEO John Ledger, but it's been particularly focusing on slamming Big Red. Verizon for years have boasted that it offered the best wireless network and grabbed the network crown with LTE, but T-Mobile has leapfrogged the competition in 5G. Okay, well, how do you leapfrog the competition in 5G when you haven't even done so in 4G? And guess where 5G comes from? It comes from upgrading 4G towers. So if you don't upgrade your 4G stuff and it's full of holes, it's not dense, there's coverage gaps everywhere, how the heck can you leap to 5G? Exactly. To drive the knife into Verizon even deeper, T-Mobile recently launched a commercial comparing its 5G coverage map to Verizon, saying Verizon covers less than 1% of the country with 5G, and T-Mobile has more 5G coverage than AT&T and Verizon combined. Okay, now you got to remember, this 1% of Verizon is millimeter wave. It's urban areas. It has very short range, low power, so it's not going to cover stuff. It's very expensive to deploy, but guess what? It's very fast. It's like 2 megabits down. It's using massive MIMO. Everything we just talked about here a few minutes ago, those 5 things, guess what? Millimeter wave for Verizon uses all them. Okay, now let's compare with T-Mobile's crap. It's using band 71, 5% of spectrum. That's it. The rest of it is LTE. It doesn't even have massive MIMO. What's band 71, Caleb? 4x4?
Yeah, 4x4. Yeah.
4x4. So they're not even using massive MIMO. They're not using beamforming. So there's 2 out of the 5 they're not even using. And of course, the other parts, I don't know. I think they have to use those other 3s for new radio technology. But
that's correct. For the 1900, they're going to do NR on that. Obviously, the 41, obviously, and then
So basically, T-Mobile's 5G is using 3 out of the 5 hardware upgrades that we just talked about. And then they're only using 5% of the spectrum, and they only have band 71 on 30% of their towers, not the full 65,000 towers. Every single tower don't have it. They upgraded tower, they skip 4 towers. They upgraded tower, skip 4 towers. So for them to be sinking the knife into the Verizon even deeper with this stuff is crazy. So that is the reason why they're now finally saying, hey, you got to stop this stuff, because it's a bunch of deception. It's deception and lies, and it's just attacking each other via marketing. It's crazy. And it says here, Verizon's lack of 5G coverage is tied to its strategy of using millimeter wave. Yeah, we just talked about that. Spectrum to differentiate 5G to 4G. Millimeter wave signals don't travel as far. Yep, I just said all that. But T-Mobile signal travels farther, covers more places. Everybody else is doing DSS, but guess what? T-Mobile's not doing DSS. See, if they really want to do it right, they could do DSS and they could do band 71 half.
We're in the lab trials for DSS. Just
lab trials. You hear that, everybody? T-Mobile lab trials. When AT&T and Verizon is already launching it on a nationwide level, crazy fast right now. There you go. But yet, T-Mobile is always first 5G, first LTE, first standalone, first this, first that, first to Mars, first to Pluto, first to Uranus, first to all these places. But in reality, they're last. So yeah, sorry about the T-Mobile rant, but I just had to share this here. This is crazy. All right, so let's talk about something more productive here. How about that? All right, so we got a new technology that's coming out. Check this out, guys. I don't know if you guys heard about this or not. This is what this company is actually doing right now. They're testing this. It's called HAPS Mobile. Basically, and guess who owns this? Let's see.
Oh, that's for the flight stuff, right?
Look who owns this. Who owns this? SoftBank.
Yeah, I heard about that.
SoftBank, guys. SoftBank owns this technology.
Probably won't get off the ground.
Oh, it's getting off the ground, all right. They They just did a test last month, dude.
Well, they did.
Basically what they're doing is they're going to fly this thing 65,000 feet in the air. That's 12 miles above Earth. Now, this thing is going to do a pattern. This thing is going to fly in circles. Okay, on the bottom side of this wings is going to have 5G antennas on.
Antennas, yeah.
And it's going to beam signal down just like a satellite would. But see, a satellite is actually orbiting the Earth. But this is what it's going to do, is going to beam it up there. Now, at 65,000 feet, you don't have to worry about crashing into any satellites because there's no satellites there because it's in the stratosphere. So, I mean, if we go down here, look here. All right, look. Here's the top. This is a geostationary satellite. This is where HughesNet is up here. 36,000 kilometers, which is about 22,000 miles. Now, picture that. 22,000 miles. So when it rains down here in the troposphere, you got rain fade. The signal fades out. So there you go. And that's why you have rain fade, like on Dish and DirecTV. That's why when you get a thunderstorm between you and the satellite towards the southern sky or southwestern sky, that's why you lose your signal, because it's millimeter wave and the rain can actually block the signal. That's why Starlink is coming out with low Earth orbit satellites. They're going to be anywhere between 300 to 1,000 miles up. So it's going to be a lot closer. And they're going to be going around. So that's where the Starlink 5G is coming out. Now you have this new thing. HAPS stands for High Altitude Platform Station. So instead of it called a satellite, which is in space, a HAPS is in the stratosphere. And it's right around the ozone layer as well. So it's 12 miles up. This thing's going to fly up in circles in a pattern. And it's going to beam 5G down through here. And now it's unmanned. There's nobody flying it. There's no pilots. There's nobody up there. This is all remote control, like a drone, like the military has. It's a drone. Look, it has all these engines on here. This is what powers it, so it keeps it going. It has just enough lift in there with the atmosphere that can stay up there. It doesn't crash down. On the top of the wings, it's got solar panels. And then it also has batteries underneath there. So it's got solar panels, just like a satellite does. It's got batteries in it, just like a satellite does. The satellite is in orbit, so it doesn't have any engines. It don't need any because it's in orbit. It's going around. This has to have engines to keep it moving at a certain speed so it stays in orbit. But yeah, they already did a test flight on this thing over Africa. Because, as you know, Africa doesn't really have any 5G or any kind of communications. So they just did this flight. What was the country? Rwanda? Yeah. In Africa.
Did it say like what percentage of Africa was covered? Because I'm wondering like what the beam widths are on those antennas. Did it say?
Yeah, I haven't got that far to figure out exactly how much coverage. But as you see when this thing was flying up here, see how they have it angled like this?
Right, exactly. That's what I was wondering about the beam width.
And see, it's going to be using massive MIMO, and it's a phased array antenna, just like it's on a satellite. So it's able to use beamforming. So as it's flying around circles, it can actually beamform it down to the actual UE, the user equipment, down on the ground. And this could be a person that is on a phone, so they can beam this like Band 2 or Band 2 or any mid-band frequency. They can program this and beam it down there and use it, because if there's no terrestrial towers down there, then you won't be interfering with anything. But of course, you can't use mid-band that's already licensed to somebody else. So what you have to do is you license it for a certain area for this certain technology to beam it straight down. This is new technology that's going to be coming soon, and this is going to be supplementary to satellite service like Starlink's doing. And basically, this is going to help get coverage in certain areas like this, and that's what it is. HAPS Mobile, headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. So this is a Japan technology. So this is really, really cool stuff here. Wow, I came across this. It's like, wow. So they just did a latest test flight here. It's basically a stratospheric telecommunications platform is what it is. This is just truly amazing. This is the pictures when it was coming down here. So, and it's by SoftBank. That's another thing it's made. All right, so now we got the other thing. Now the other 5G thing, of course, we already know about is called NAT or NTS or NTN. I mean, which NTN stands for non-terrestrial networks. Basically, it's satellite. So we already have Starlink that's doing that. But now there's another company that's coming out. Let's see, where's that? This one? Yeah. There's another company called this. Let's see if I can pronounce it right. Ubiquity Link is the name of the company. Now, what they're doing is they're launching satellites up just like Starlink is, but guess what they're doing? They're planning on shooting the signal down to phones, actual phones. So you take a smartphone that already has all these LTE and 5G frequency bands in it, and this will shoot it down into a specific area using beamforming, so it doesn't interfere with other cellular carriers. It'll beam straight down.
I like that approach.
So that's what they're going to do also. So they're going to put towers up, and then you're going to be able to use your cell phone and connect to the satellite. So this is going to be kind of like a supplemental thing. So if you go into a building, you're going to connect to the terrestrial towers, the towers nearby, because it has indoor coverage. But when you go outside or you go out in an area that's rural that don't have very towers, then your phone's going to connect to these people here, and then you're going to get service up there. So as you see, technology is exploding with 5G right now. They're doing satellites. They're doing space planes. I guess it's what you want to call it. It's not quite in space, but these gliders up there. So all this new technology is really, really getting crazier. They just raised $12 million for the satellites.
I really love that technology by Ubiquity Link. That's amazing. Yep. I really like that a lot. That's awesome. I like that so much.
Yeah, it's really cool because we already have Starlink, which can shoot the signal down to, it's basically fixed 5G satellite. This is going to be mobile satellite. This is going, instead of buying a Globalstar satellite phone that has the great big and it's not even a smartphone. It's very limited. So basically you can use your existing phone with the existing LTE and 5G frequencies on it and then beam it up to the satellite and still have good connection. And then when you go indoors, you still have your signal. So the capacity is not going to be as good. The speed is not going to be bad or as good, but it gives you an option. So if you're on a mobile phone, you can actually have a little bit better coverage and everything. So this is some new stuff that's coming out, which is very, very exciting. So hopefully this helps everybody out understand the mandatory things part of 5G. Standalone coming out next year is going to be awesome. They're doing DSS, multiple bands. The X60 modem comes out. Then you can get true NR, voice over NR on your standalone networks, which you can't do right now because you can't do voice over NR without that X60 modem. It's just the technology is not in there yet. So right now, for everybody's calling 5G, just remember this. You're looking at that signal on your phone. You're looking at that little icon. If it says 5GE, that's fake. It's not even any new radio in it. There's no 5G in it at all. It's completely LTE. And if you're on T-Mobile or you're on AT&T right now and you see a 5G symbol, it's because there's 95% LTE, 10% of new radio. That's what it is. It's non-standalone. It's only a sliver. But when AT&T comes out with a non-standalone, or the standalone, then it's going to be 100% on all low band, all mid band. Then it's going to be the real deal. And the trouble is that really makes me upset is there's no standards on the icon. That icon in your phone, the FCC should have an icon on there that has a meaning. If you want to go with 5G, it needs to tell us which kind of 5G. Of course, if it's fake 5G, it shouldn't even be a 5G at all. But like 5G UWB, when you see that, that's ultra wideband. That's millimeter wave. So if it says that, so I think the FCC should have a standard where if it's millimeter wave, then it's 5GU. And if it's standalone, it should be 5GS, so that it's standalone. It's 100% 5G. It's not any fake 5G. So I just think there should be better standards because the companies are out here twisting, especially T-Mobile. They're deceiving everybody. They're twisting things. Even AT&T is deceiving people because with this 5GE thing here. So, but yeah, 5G is going to be really good, but it's just So if anybody's wanting a 5G phone right now, the only reason to buy a 5G phone now is to buy it because it has a better LTE modem in it. With that better LTE modem, you have better performance. But you're not buying a 5G phone now with the X55 modem in it to get 5G because it's not even really out yet. It's just a sliver out there. Unless you're doing Verizon and you're in an urban area, then the X55 modem works perfectly well with the millimeter wave. So it's the X60 that's going to make the improvements on low band and mid band and carrier aggregation on all three bands. The layer cake, as you know who says. Exactly. So let's go into chat here. While I'm going to the chat here, what do you think here?
Chains.
And what do you think, Carlos? What do you think about
chains?
No, chains. Blah, 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 blah. You know I hate chains. He's a clown.
I am chains. Shaking it.
Nice.
Okay, let's see. Let me find my place in the chat here. I always hate trying to find my place because StreamYard has not yet changed it, so we can tell when we clicked on things. So give us a thing here. We're going to wrap this up here very soon. I know TK's on his live. I know a lot of people probably already left here to go see TK's 25,000 celebration. So he's a wild channel, man. I'm sure he's partying up hard right now. So knowing TK.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh look here, we got somebody called Anonymous. Okay, that's interesting.
I'm surprised where the skunk ape's at. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
We got the skunk ape, lowercase skunk ape, the capital skunk ape. We got the skunk ape cometh, skunk ape coon.
Okay, I already did that. Let's see. Well, here's where we go with all this GG, TT, GG. So I don't know what all that was up. Let me catch up here. See if you guys got any questions here. Faster 4G. Okay. Carlos, why are you taking cheap shots at me? That's the second time. Is everybody on Verizon here in this podcast? I am the only one not on Verizon.
That is correct.
There's people on here with AT&T, and there's some people still on T-Mobile because sometimes T-Mobile works where they're at.
He is where Verizon and AT&T works really good. Actually, AT&T's Texas, but he is still
on forked tongue about their network. That's good. That's the original one there, Paul. But
he's still stinking it up.
I know people's already probably hated my stream already just because I talk bad about it. But hey, I'm talking facts. You know, I'm talking the truth. I'm going more than just saying T-Mobile sucks. I'm actually bringing you evidence. I'm bringing you evidence. I'm showing you guys what real 5G is. I'm showing you what we're talking about here. So, and Caleb's engineer, he knows what he's talking about. So that's what we're trying to do. We're just only trying to bring you guys the truth, what real 5G is, and just prove that theirs is fake. That's all. And AT&T's fake right now too. So ain't just singling one carrier out. People say, "Oh, you just hate T-Mobile." No, I hate anybody that's lying about their network. Is Verizon 5G millimeter wave standalone? No, it's not. That's a good question. Thanks for bringing that up because I forgot to say that. Basically, what it is, it's 5% LTE. Okay, it's 5% LTE, and then it's 95% 5G on millimeter wave, and it's using usually I think band 2. I think that's right. It's using band 2 or one of the other LTE bands because remember it's not standalone, so it has to rely on the LTE core to do everything. Plus, it has to have that little sliver of LTE in there to do voice over LTE because there's no such thing as voice over NR yet because we don't have the proper handsets to do that yet. So basically, millimeter wave is 95%. Now we're talking Verizon here is 95%. Now, if you go over to T-Mobile, there's a chance that it may be only like 60% NR, and then the rest of it is LTE. So that's a possibility too. But with Verizon, it's only like a 5% sliver that's LTE. It's a good question. Now, when Verizon does go to standalone, then it's going to be 100% 5G on whatever band they picked. Now, when the carrier aggregation comes out with the X60 modem, Verizon is going to be able to do low band, mid band, and millimeter wave, carrier aggregate all three bands together. And that's what you're going to get. and that's coming next year with Verizon. AT&T is going to do the same thing. They have millimeter wave, they have mid-band, they have low band. They're going to be able to carrier aggregate all those frequency bands and millimeter wave all together. And when you have standalone for AT&T, that's coming next year also. And then, of course, we're left with T-Mobile. Yeah, we're left with T-Mobile. They're going to be still claiming they already had standalone months and months ago, but yet, it's 30% of their network is by itself hanging out there. When you leave one 5G tower for their fake standalone they have, and you don't have no more signal because you're between the two NR towers, what happens? You go to no service. Now, what good is it to drive down an interstate? You have service for 3 miles, then you have no service for 3 miles, then you have service for 3 miles, then you have no service for 3 miles. That's what you get on their standalone fake network, because guess what? It's not able to use any LTE. And because T-Mobile doesn't have 5G on every single tower site they have, which means it's the Swiss cheese network. It's got holes in the network. It's not continuous overlapping coverage. So for them to deploy something like that is just batshit crazy. I'll say it right now. It's batshit crazy. It's the stupidest thing anybody can do to a network. That's not how you do it. And you guys don't believe it. Carlos tested it. He tested, when this standalone crap come out for T-Mobile, what did Carlos do? Carlos went right down the store. I'm buying one of these phones. He went and bought it. He put it on there, confirmed it was in a standalone mode. He was able to make a phone call on it. Now think about this. Okay, it's got the X55 modem in it. So explain this. How was Carlos able to make a phone call when he's on standalone 5G? That's right, because it's fake.
Can't. Just goes over LTE.
It's fake.
It's fake, yeah. So they're just doing tricks, software tricks and all that stuff. So it's not real 5G, not standalone. It's not real. September 1st, TK will be releasing more information on the giveaway. Oh, okay. All right, that's good to know. Yeah, I think he's live right now too. So yeah, I'll definitely jump on as soon as we get done with the stream here. Also, my T-Mobile Franklin hotspot says I use 23 gigabytes when they only give you 20 gigabytes. The only difference I've seen is it's slightly throttled. Slightly throttled.
Bro. Dude, Tana's beats are so lit.
Throttled in the beginning too, because that Franklin hotspot is garbage. I put that card in my cool pad, and it actually has better speeds in it. That Franklin hotspot is garbage. I looked up the specs on it. It says it has 1 carrier aggregation, and it's got some like old modem in it, like category 2 modem. It's like the original LTE modem in it. That's what it said it has. It's got the oldest LTE technology you could have that Qualcomm came out with. It's crazy. At least the cool pad has category 6 in it, I think, and it has 3 carrier aggregation. So the cool pad hotspot actually gave you a little bit of speed. So I'm just so surprised that T-Mobile would send out this Franklin T9 hotspot out for people to try, because people are going to try and they go, I'm not switching to them. It's garbage. Why would you do that? Why would you send something out that proves your network's garbage? Blows my mind. Anyways.
At least back then they did better when they sent out the damn iPhone 5S.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, look what Chase says. He's tested out. He's trying to do stuff in his house because his HughesNet sucks. He tries to do this T-Mobile stuff. It sucks. He's got Sprint service. It's a little bit better than T-Mobile, but not that much better. And the sad thing is they're going to decommission these towers here soon. Then what's he going to be left with? That's why he's dumping scum. And I confirmed it does not run on Sprint towers. Yes, that Franklin hotspot connected to T-Mobile instead of a Sprint tower that was closer and better. So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
There's the facts right there, for sure. All right, so anybody have any questions or anything else what we talked about tonight? I know we've been live here for like an hour and 50 minutes here, so we got 24 people left here. So any of y'all in the live chat here, if you got any questions about what we talked about here tonight, or you want to ask Carlos something, or you want to ask Caleb something, or if you have a question about anything we talked about, just let me know, and we can talk about it. If not, we're going to close this live stream down, And of course, I'm gonna go jump over on TK's because I think he's having a party right now. I'm sure some people got two phones, just watching me on one phone and watching TK on the other phone. So I do that sometimes too with my laptop. I'll open up two YouTubes up, and I'll watch 3 live streams at the same time. But I'm a multitasking fool. I can do that. I can watch 3 live streams and interact just like nothing. So I'm a really strange person, so I can do that. So most people can't do that. They can't watch 3 live streams at the same time. It's just not possible. So okay, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, whatever you're saying, you have to. Consider liking and subscribing. Yeah, please, everybody, like and subscribe. Yeah, don't forget about the being a Patreon member. If you become a Patreon member, you go to my YouTube page, and if you go all the way at the bottom, all the links are there. So you can click. There's a Patreon link if you will be a monthly contributor, and you get free tech support for mobile wireless, Wi-Fi, computer. I mean, whatever I can help you out with. I'm good with multiple things. Computers and all kinds of stuff. Wi-Fi. I can help you set up a good Wi-Fi network if you need. I give you free. That's the least I can do. I give you guys good information on the channel, and then I also can give you some tech support. But I'm just trying to keep my income coming in until I go back to work in a couple weeks, because I got to keep my StreamYard. I upgraded to the 1080p plan, so it's $50. So the StreamYard's coming up here pretty soon. Right now on Patreon, I got $20 that's going to be coming through for the next month contributors. But I'm going to need just a little bit more. And I would love to upgrade my microphone, because right now I'm using a microphone up here. I don't know if you hear that. This is a
Holy shit, bro. So...
See, this is the right channel. This is the left channel. See, it's a dual microphone. That's what it's on. Some people are saying I sound kind of hollow because, I got these screens around me, so my voice is bouncing around. So, but if I get a microphone like Carlos has got, he got a really nice studio quality mic. And if I get that, I'll set that up right here next to me so that I can be close to it, and then I'll have studio quality. But the mic's $85, and I can't afford it right now. So if you guys do donations, I'll be able to keep broadcasting the 1080p, and I'll be able to get that new mic. I got my backdrop here done, so that's looking great. I got a little bit more lighting to fix. I know I haven't done that yet, but I got to go to Dollar Store, pick up a couple more LED lights so I can kind of spread it out a little bit. So as you see down here in the back, it's kind of, or over here, you can see it's kind of like fuzzy. Or you see when you shadow. See when I put the shadow, see what happens? So if you got poor lighting, it doesn't come through right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so. But yeah, so yeah, please subscribe. And if you want to just make a one-time payment, you can do that too on PayPal. The PayPal link is in there. You do a one-time PayPal. And remember, when you go to Patreon, if you just donate $1 a month, that's cool, because I got 200 subscribers. If each person donates $1 a month, that's $200 that can go to the channel to make things better. I can buy some stuff to test out for you guys. So just $1 on Patreon every month is great. And then a one-time donation every now and then, that would really get the channel going good. So thank you guys for all your support that you've already done. Let's see what he says here. Sprint 5G rocks. Too bad T-Mobile mothballed it. Yep, I completely agree with you, Maverick. I completely agree. Sprint was actually doing some good, and then, of course, they're destroyed now. Rest in peace, Sprint. Free tech support. That's right, SMT. You need some tech support? Just become a Patreon member, buddy. I'm a Patreon member of SMT. I get the early bird videos and all that kind of stuff. Did you all hear the skunk is doing 2 carrier aggregation, LTE 41? Well, there's no need to have 2 carrier aggregation, because LTE, the two carrier aggregation, the only way they would need to do that is if it's non-continuous. If you got two parts of 2.5 that are not contiguous, they're separated. Yeah, you have to do 2 carrier if you want to enable it. But what they're doing on that part, let me know if I'm right about this, Caleb, is if it's non-continuous part, they're doing 5G on one part of it, and they're doing LTE on the other, and not even using DSS. Is that correct? If Caleb's still here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm here. What's up, man? Sorry, just joking around.
The question, or you heard it?
Was there a question?
Well, yeah, he's talking here. Did y'all hear Skunk is doing 2 carrier aggregation LTE 41? What I said was, if it's non-contingent of 2.5, it's 2 sections of the band. They're doing 5G on one band, and they're doing LTE on the other band, just because we're not doing DSS.
So we're using a primary and secondary frequency on the macro sites. So we're able to do the 2x carrier ag. We actually had to steal the secondary frequency off the small cells and put them on macro sites.
Yeah, Rob, here to pay Paul, right?
That's how we did it. Yes, sir.
That's the T-Mobile way.
T-Mobile way.
On.
So yeah, it's all those small cells that were ready to decom, you know. So
in Phoenix, at least he says, okay.
Yep.
Extremist. Oh yeah. You got to check out his channel, Tech Extremist. He's got a really good channel. Does a lot of good speed testing stuff, like our big homie Carlos does. Starlink continues to relaunch satellites. SpaceX had a launch today. I thought it would got canceled because of thunderstorms. There was 2 launches scheduled. The first one got scrubbed for Starlink. That's what I heard. The second launch was a go for some other kind of satellite. And I actually forgot. I missed it by 15 minutes. I wanted to go outside because the trajectory on that second launch in the evening actually put it going over top my house right here. So I could have walked outside, probably seen it go over my head up as it going up there. So I actually missed it by 15 minutes. I should have set a timer on there, but I was getting ready for my live stream and all that stuff, so I kind of missed it. But yeah, I think the Starlink got scrubbed. But yeah, they're going to continue putting them up there so that they can get live by Christmas time. Because Starlink wants to go live on the northern half of USA and the lower half of Canada by Christmas. That's the goal. They want to have 1 million subscribers by the time 2021 comes. And then, of course, keep putting satellites up till they get 12,000 up there. Then they're going to do the southern half of the United States, and then eventually they're going to do the whole world. That's the plan with Starlink. Carlos has a great setup in audio and video. Yes. Yep, Carlos got the 1080p going on. I got the 1080p going on. I just got to get my mic fixed. I could use my G933 headset, but I just don't want to put that big bulky headset on there, because it probably makes me look fat because, it's making my head look twice as big. So it makes me look. So without the head, probably now you guys go, hey, did you lose some weight? Yeah, because it's an illusion. Whenever you get those big headphones on, it makes it look like you're fatter than what you really are.
Why don't you use the other headphones instead of using Bluetooth? You get too much delay on Bluetooth audio.
Yeah, I'm not using Bluetooth right now. I'm only using the Bluetooth for me, for hearing.
Yeah, exactly. You get delay. That's why you hear us like 2 seconds later.
Okay, well, right now I'm using this. I'm using.
Oh yeah. On the mic, yes.
Webcam. That's what I'm using now. And I know when I'm closer, it sounds better, but when I'm farther back, it sounds more echoey. I know that. So.
No, he's talking about that on the hearing, on the audio.
When we talk, I can tell that you hear us like 2 seconds later.
Oh, 2 seconds
tell.
later? Oh,
yeah, you got a 2 seconds delay.
It's always better to go hardwired with the audio and video, but
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's see what else we got here. Thank you, Ricky, Caleb, and callers for your valuable knowledge. You're quite welcome. Let's see, Hector. Who's this? Hector Artiga M. Who's this?
That's Tech Extremist link, I think.
Oh, that's his link. Okay. I got you. All right, so we're all caught up here. I don't see any more questions. So, you got any more last comments here, Caleb, about what we talked about, or?
No, I think I'm all good, man. And like I said, I hope to.
What do you think these carriers need to do to make 5G great?
It's, and I'm not going to say this for all carriers. Just spend money. Just spend more money.
Spend the money.
That's all you need. Spend the money.
Right. Mm-hmm. The tech is out there.
It's out there. Yep.
It's for sale. It's like when you go to the grocery store. The shelves are full of milk and butter and sugar and flour and everything. So if you want to bake a cake, all you got to do is spend the money, buy the ingredients,
right?
Go home, bake the damn cake, put the icing on the damn thing, and then you're going to have a triple layer cake, like you know who talks about. But until you spend the money on the ingredients, what happens if you go to the store, you get the eggs, you get the milk, but you don't get the flour, and then you put all that together and you throw it in the oven to bake a cake? What's that cake going to be like?
It's not a good cake. It'll be a flat cake.
Not even a cake. It's going to be just a big pile of look like dog turds. What's going to look like? It's not even going to be cake. And that's what T-Mobile has done to us. They've baked us a cake that is missing key ingredients, like I just showed you guys tonight. 3 out of the 5 they've done. There's 2 missing. So until they start spending the money on the ingredients, we're not going to have real cake, and we're not going to have real icing. So there you go. What do you think, Carlos?
That sounds about
Mr.
correct.
T-Chains. What do you think, T-Chains?
That sounds about correct.
It sounds about correct. Spend the cash. Deploy it. And how long does it take to bake a cake? An hour?
Better now.
So you got to travel to the store. Say it's 30 minutes to the store, 30 minutes back, depends on where you live. So there's an hour travel time. You spend the money. You go back home. You get all your ingredients. How long does it take to bake a cake? Probably about an hour. By the time you mix everything up, then throw it in the oven, cook it for 15, 20 minutes, and it comes out. You got to let it cool down. Then you take the icing, you put it on there. So it's about a 3-hour process to bake a cake.
Yeah.
When you're building a 5G network, what's the time frame, Caleb? What's the time frame?
Well, I mean, it depends. If you're just doing a single site or a cluster of sites, it's a lot, especially
right. If you're going to do 5G right, how long does it take?
If I was working a cluster of sites, it takes probably a good let's say if I had a cluster of sites built already, probably about a good 3 months.
3 months. Okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
3 months. So basically, T-Mobile just needs to spend the money, do the time, put the stuff out there, and make the customers happy.
Yeah.
And then we can have 5G great. I'm going to say again because we haven't even had 5G yet, so there's something saying again. But AT&T and Verizon's already went to the grocery store. They already picked up the ingredients, and they're actually in the process of mixing up that cake right now. And all they got to do is put it in the oven. That's all. AT&T, they're baking the cake right now. As soon as it comes out of the oven, it's ready to eat. We're going to be eating cake with Verizon and AT&T when T-Mobile hasn't even went to the store and got the shopping list done.
Yeah, I mean, every time we pop a new site on there, it takes a good about a week or two to let it soak. We call it soak, network soak, and another about month and a half to optimize it, make sure it's good. So if you think you got to work a cluster of 10 to 15 sites, that's why it's about 3 months time. So
yep, absolutely. Sounds good. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Those links are on there also, too. You go to my YouTube page. Go to the YouTube page all the way at the bottom. There's a link for Twitter. There's a link for Facebook. There's a link for...
It's in the description down below.
I don't know if I got the Twitch link down there or not. Let's see.
It's in the description down below.
Yeah, you go to main site. Go to the channel. There we go. You hit the About tab. Yeah, you got to do that. You got to hit the About tab on my YouTube. I got 205 subscribers now. Thank you to the 3 people who just subscribed since the start of this. Yeah, you click About, and you just go all the way to the bottom. There's a Donate Patreon link. There's a Donate PayPal. There's a Twitter. There's the merch store. I forgot about the merch store. So, yeah, if you want to buy some RFK Tech merch, buy a shirt or a face mask if you want that. I know some people don't want RF Tech on their face all day long. Or you can buy a handbag. They got some handbags in there, like a carry case, or like when you go grocery shopping, you throw your groceries in there. Got that. You got some hoodies in there. I know hoodies are big. I know winter's coming, so you can get you a hoodie. And as soon as I get some more donations, I'm going to make a custom logo of a skunk ape climbing a T-Mobile tower and eating an N71 antenna. I'm going to have somebody customize that, and I'm going to design it, and I'm going to put it on my merch, and we're going to have that to sell on the store. So if anybody knows a good person that can do photoshopping for me, I can get them the images of everything they need. But what they need is they need to Photoshop it together to be one thing, and it has to be a high DPI that I'll be able to use on the merch store because they require a high DPI. So, anybody out there that can help me out with Photoshopping my design for the merch store, just send me an email or a direct message on Twitter.
Oh, nice, man.
I got the Facebook link, I got the Twitch link, and the Storyfire link, which is the new media platform that's out now. So all those links are in there. There's an email address in there. So if you want to email me, you can contact me on Twitter, the direct message part of the Twitter. So, and also when you're on my page on the About side, if you look on the right side, there's a whole list of featured channels. So make sure you go and subscribe to every one of them featured channels that's on the list on the right side there. So a whole bunch of good tech channels, car channels. You got.
I'm thinking about starting my own channel.
You should, bro. You should.
It's going to be just restaurant reviews.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice,
Carlos
Caleb.
knows. Carlos knows.
You're gonna use that new mic.
Yep, new mic.
yeah.
Everything, dude. I'll get all set up, dude. I
Bro,
just
that
gotta
mic is baller.
Yep. I just gotta get a the only thing I need left is a camera. That's it. So
there you go. Yeah, here's the channels: SMT, Sneed Mobile Tech, Carlos S Tech, more with TK. He's live right now, by the way. He's celebrating 25,000 subscribers. TK's Garage. Well, I think it's TK's Garage. The more with TK is his tech channel. All right, then you got Auto Auction Rebuilds. He's a cart channel. Ciova does a lot of neat stuff. Tito Escobar does a lot of great stuff. Billet TV, he shouts out your channel, and it's a good networking channel. Tech 702, it's got a good channel. And the Tech Extremist has a great channel. So make sure you check out all those channels there on the feature side there. And that's about it for this live stream. And another one.
And
another one. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see, spending money on the network and not on marketing. Yeah. Good night, Gregory. Thanks for coming in. Face mask. Yeah. Look out on the merch store. You got to check it out. You get your RFK Tech face mask. Thanks for the 5G informative live stream, Ricky, Caleb, and Carlos. You're quite welcome. All right. Peace symbols. I want to see a restaurant review channel. There you go,
man. It's coming. Don't worry.
Restaurant review. Now, when you do that restaurant review, you got to come down to the Keys. You got to come down here to Hog Heaven in Alamorada.
Absolutely. I'll do a review on it. Yeah, absolutely.
Because Hog Heaven is awesome barbecue, and it's got a nice view right there on the ocean right here. You got oceanfront dining. It's beautiful.
Nice.
A lot of good restaurants. So when you're ready to come down here and do reviews in the Keys, I can point you some really, really good places.
Oh, you got it, man. Yeah, I'll be happy to.
Is an awesome seafood restaurant. They got the best seafood down here.
Nice.
You go down Lower Keys. Oh my God, there's even more restaurants down there. So
yeah, more the better. That's I'm thinking about doing it. So
while you're down here, we'll go by to Burger King and you can do a review on them, and we'll go to McDonald's and you can do a review on them.
No, just not necessarily the chains.
You're gonna stick to the premium stuff. So
stick the premium in the restaurants.
So it's like this. You're gonna stick to Verizon and AT&T, and you're gonna skip over T-Mobile.
Pretty much.
T-Mobile is kind of equal to fast food like McDonald's and Burger King, right? But if you want to go to Hog Heaven, that's like eating at AT&T or Verizon, right?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Just want to clarify that. Now, Maverick says, great job, guys. Another awesome podcast. RFK, Caleb, and Carlos. Paul says, and another one. That's the hashtag. And another one. That's right. Yeah, Caleb, review those scallops.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Bacon wrapped scallop.
So good.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. I love bacon. Bacon on scallops is good. MS says, great stream, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you all guys for coming tonight. So we say, yeah. And then that's it. So let's put it in. Here's my intro. I love this intro. It's really cool. So good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.